Alright. Here is something that is really bothering me. If you all have been hearing the news about the new Pokemon movie coming out here in the US in a few months, the awakening of Genesect, blah blah blah, Mewtwo. Okay. I understand, new movie, they're trying to change things up. Alright, I get that. Respect your opinion, respect your whole change up on things. Don't want to keep anything too repetitive. But what I do have an issue with is the fact that some of the information they had us believe isn't what really is. Let me tell you about this. Mewtwo, we all know the original Mewtwo is a badass, okay? The Mewtwo from the original series, Pokemon Movie 1, in the prologue in that episode where Ash and Gary and all them go to Giovanni's gym and then they all get their ass. That is the badass Mewtwo. Now, from my memory, if I'm not mistaken, when TV Tokyo released information about this movie, they didn't say anything about, this is a whole different Mewtwo. They kept on the flow of, hey, this is the same Mewtwo, and that's what we're all getting at, and that's what I thought so too. It's not. And I'm quite bothered by that if you ask me. Because if I am not correct, legendary Pokemon are legendary because of their rarity and just unique. Just because they're fucking unique and they're so damn rare and so special to the entire Pokemon existence itself. And lately I've been thinking, how many other Pokemon of the same species that are quote-unquote labeled legendary are really out there? I mean, we see the Lugia in Pokemon 2000, obviously that's the Guardian of the Sea, but yet again, we see in the Johto League, when they're on the Silver Islands, we saw two other Lugia, a mother and her child, Silver, the male baby Lugia. And so it makes me think, are there really a whole species of legendary Pokemon that are just, that are just collinating somewhere that we do not even know? Because, what's his name? The Battle Factory and Pokemon, Hoenn, whatever, Battle Frontier, he had an Articuno. Yeah, we saw an Articuno in Pokemon 2000. We saw an Articuno in Pokemon Kanto League where Ash is stuck in a blizzard. And we also saw another Articuno in Pokemon Orange Island. So it's making me think maybe there's not just one out there. There's absolutely more. But they all just are so rare when they are seen. We all think it's the same one. And, also with Suicune, we saw Suicune on early beginnings of Ash's journey in the Johto League. We saw Suicune in, the third movie as a cameo. We saw Suicune also in, pretty sure it was Diamond and Pearl. No, I want to say Diamond and Pearl. I may be mistaken. Maybe Hoenn, my memory's a little faded, where a girl befriended a Suicune that was, obviously, I guess, wild, and it stayed with her. And so it's like, maybe there are more than just one. But back to the Mewtwo topic. Alright, I've been watching more videos, and I watched that prologue to Mewtwo, that new movie, and I was quite disappointed because it seems like this Mewtwo lacks in experience and lacks in that pure psychic energy that the original Mewtwo. And I was just thinking to myself, because a lot of people are, commenting and saying this new Mewtwo is fucking badass. It's like the strongest Pokemon out there. But remember, if you watch the prologue to the new movie, then you obviously would have seen the Tyranitar use a Hyper Beam, and I figured what other Pokemon was there at the time. But anyways, it struck Mewtwo, and Mewtwo seemed to be struggling when battling those Pokemon. I'm like, really? Because if this Pokemon is so fucking badass, then how come it is no comparison to the original Mewtwo, who wiped out an entire Pokemon army just with like 10% of his psychic ability, was able to almost completely flood the entire world and took down some of the best trainers Pokemons. And I'm thinking to myself, people are saying this Mewtwo is better? No, you are mistaken. Sort of like Dragon Ball Z and Bio Broly, okay? The original Broly is the strongest motherfucking Super Saiyan out there. We cannot deny the fact. Goku and all them, they're strong. Okay, I'll give them credit. They train. But Broly, just by birth and just by Saiyan strength alone, not by training, is a psychotic fucking monster. Nobody's gonna take him down single-handedly. The only person I could imagine to even have a remote chance would be after watching the new Dragon Ball Z movie, Battle of the Gods. Definitely Bills, Weiss, and the other gods, and Kid Buu would be the only four people, characters that I know in those series that would be able to take down fucking Broly. So like Mewtwo, no one was able to take him down. They just got two Mewtwo, and Mew would have been the only one, but even Mew was like, is not like that. Mew's gonna be toying with him and just like, I'm not here to kill you. I'm just making sure that you don't kill other people, Mewtwo. And Mewtwo understood that. And that's what pissed off Mewtwo, because with every time he gave it his best, Mew always right there and retaliated and prevented him from causing more destruction. But this new Mewtwo seems to have to transform to unlock its true energy. And it's just like, and it's sort of like, adding insult to injury. It's sort of like erasing from that Mewtwo, signature. Like Mewtwo, when you think of the name Mewtwo, I think of like a fucking gladiator, somebody that just cannot be defeated. But after watching the new clips of this new Mewtwo, it's kind of just erasing from that reputation, and that just rubs me the wrong way. And not only that, they're adding Mewtwo fucking X. What the hell was that shit, man? Because it's like, why do you need Mewtwo to transform into two other forms? It kind of leads me to believe if they truly did add Mewtwo, okay, if they made another Mewtwo, which they absolutely did, it's obvious because they even told you in the past month or so, but they didn't take the DNA from Mew directly like they did from the first Mew. That's how Mew's psychic energy was so strong, and the fact that he was a super clone, obviously boosted up. And it makes me kind of think, what if Mewtwo, or let me say Mewtwo, is not a super clone? What if he's just a clone? Well, I have three theories here. What if he's just a clone of Mew, just given the Mewtwo, appearance, and so it's lacking in that super clone gene that the original Mewtwo has? Or what if it was taking a gene from the original Mewtwo from Giovanni, that Giovanni kind of just like accidentally let out, or one of the Team Rockets, or somebody took it from him? Or when they took the gene from Mew or whatever, if they had a gene, they could not figure out that little missing link that made the first Mewtwo that super OP motherfucker, and so they try to substitute it with something that, ended up creating this Mewtwo that was far weaker, and to be able to even come close to the original Mewtwo's level, it had to transform, and that's why they gave it the transformation. And so they made it either a close combat, gave it that more of a close combat gene, or more of a pure psychic energy gene. That's what I'm thinking, because it is clearly a female based off the movie, and the movies and the anime never go along. Well, ever since they changed the entire, cast and all that production shit, the movies and the anime do not follow in a sequence as they used to. Maybe they are now, I don't know. But it seems that they're trying to get back into the routine, because they've kind of been listening to the fans and been like, all right, we understand, we hear you, we've been ignoring you for a while, but now we understand. We know your demand. You want it to be like it was. We tried, you didn't like it, so we're trying to bring back the nostalgia of the old original series. And I like that, with the new Pokemon X and Y, Ash's hat. But that Sarah girl, she did well, but she's not as well as Veronica Taylor. Veronica Taylor fit Ash perfectly. She was in sync with Ash. Sort of like if you read Pokemon Adventures, when Blaine was it was like an ET scenario where Blaine and Mewtwo were literally linked. They had the genes of each other within themselves. And when Mewtwo was battling too much and was using too much of its energy. It took life force from Blaine and completely corrupted his, genes and all of his DNA and just fucked him up the ass, basically. And so it was sort of like that. And so I'm thinking, well, like, why do they even? Ugh, I'm getting too much into this for one video. All right, I'm Lucy P. If you like my discussions, mainly I'm a ranting guy. I like to bitch. I like to complain, but I do like the whole aspect of how it's a female Mewtwo. For once, it is showing that there are other ones out there. People are trying to come up with new ideas because maybe they figured the first Mewtwo was far too violent and far too destructive, and if they made another Mewtwo like that, it would ultimately end up destroying the entire human existence, because Ash and all them, they were lucky. They were super lucky that Mew was there at the time and that they were able to knock some sense into fucking Mew too. But maybe they took some precautions, Hey, that's them. We'll find out when the movie comes out. All right, give me a like and subscribe.